Dinosaurus, meet Dinosaurus, or David Anders when he's not moonlighting as a prehistoric eco-terrorist. This guy's a human who flips into a towering, brainy dinosaur, not from rage or a mad scientist ray, but sheer boredom. Picture him yawning through a Netflix binge, muttering, "Time to go full T-Rex." His mission? Save Earth by smashing humanity's excesses, one city at a time. He's a physical monster, claws that shred steel like it's tissue paper, a tail that could topple skyscrapers, and teeth that turn foes into dino chow. Case in point, he chomps Omnipotus, a cosmic bully, like he's snacking on popcorn. He's strong enough to slug it out with Viltrumites, shrugging off punches that'd flatten a mountain, and fast enough to catch Mark off guard. But his real edge? A genius-level intellect that cooks up plans crazier than a Bond villain's. His masterpiece being sweet-talking Mark into letting him nuke Las Vegas to fix overpopulation. Imagine a dinosaur in a debate club, arguing climate change while rubble rains down. That's Dinosaurus. He's a whirlwind of muscle and morality, leaving Mark torn between, "This guy's got a point," and "I can't let him blow up Disney World next." His weakness? That save the planet obsession makes him a sitting duck. Mark betrays him, punching a hole through his scaly heart after one too many lectures. Still, he's a standout. He survived Viltrumite brawls, leveled cities with a flick of his tail, and nearly turned Earth into his personal Jurassic utopia. He's not higher because his noble nuttiness gets him outsmarted. But if you're staring down a dino who can outthink and outbite you, good luck sleeping tonight. Adam Eve. Here's Adam Eve, aka Samantha Eve Wilkins, the redhead who could rewrite the universe but spends her days keeping Mark from turning every fight into a hospital visit. Her powers manipulating matter at the atomic level, she's a one-woman reality editor. Need a shield to stop a Viltrumite punch? She's got it. Want to turn a tank into a pile of cupcakes? She could, if she felt like it. Eve's feats are bonkers. She rebuilds ecosystems trashed by Viltrumite wars, whips up energy blasts that'd make Thor blink, and once transformed a lifeless desert into a blooming paradise just to prove she's not messing around. Her trump card? Immortality. When a Viltrumite skewers her through the chest, her body reboots like she's got a cosmic cartwheel plus Zed, popping back up fresh and ready to roll. She survived planet-shaking battles, deflected attacks that had vaporized cities, and patched up Earth after invaders left it a smoking crater. So why is she only 7th? Mental blocks, installed by her makers, keep her from going full god mode unless she's dying or desperate. Think of her as a supernova stuck in a lampshade. Without those limits, she'd be turning Thrag into a lawn chair while sipping lemonade. Her bond with Mark shapes her too. She's often playing backup, shielding him from Conquest claws or healing allies mid-fight, instead of flexing her full power. She's raised a kid with him, Terra, juggling motherhood with moves that bend physics like origami. Eve's the sleeper powerhouse, loyal, versatile, and the only one here who'd say sorry after accidentally turning your house into a smoothie. Cross her, and she might just rearrange your atoms into a very sad balloon animal. Alan the Alien. Alan the Alien slides in as the orange-skinned bro from Unopa, a custom-built Viltrumite killer who's basically the galaxy's most stubborn comeback king. His people engineered him to fight the Viltrum Empire, and he's got a killer perk. Every time he gets smashed, he bounces back stronger, like a scion who traded spiky hair for a chill vibe. Early on, he's decent, lifting spaceships, cracking skulls. But after Viltrumites use him as a piñata, he's a beast who'd make the thing sweat. His highlight reel? He trades punches with Omni-Man and lives, draws blood from Thrag, a feat rarer than a polite internet comment, and becomes the coalition of planets' heavy hitter. He's died and regenerated more times than a cat with 9 lives, impaled by a Viltrumite blade, back by lunch, blasted into space, see you next Tuesday. By the comic's end, he's a juggernaut, tanking hits that'd turn planets to dust and dishing out blows that shatter Viltrumite jaws. He's helped Mark fend off Thrag's minions, survived invasions that wiped out fleets, and once took on a Viltrumite squad solo, leaving them limping. His catch? He needs those beatdowns to power up. Fresh off the bench, he's not matching Mark's peak. Plus, he's too nice, always saving Mark or the Coalition instead of hogging the glory. Picture him as the buddy who'd jump in front of a bus for you, then flex a new arm while cracking a dad joke. Alan's not bending reality or ruling galaxies, but his relentless growth in iron will make him a force you'd never bet against, especially if you're dumb enough to throw the first punch. Battle Beast. Battle Beast crashes the list as the Lion Man who's basically a gladiator on a galactic bar crawl. From a warrior planet, he's a furry tower of muscle with claws sharper than a sushi chef's blade, and a mace that'd make Thor's hammer look like a toy. This guy doesn't care about fame or revenge. He's addicted to fights that might actually end him. In the comics, he's a walking carnage machine. He tears through the Guardians of the Globe like they're paper dolls, laughs off Mark's best shots like they're pillow slaps, and walks away mid-battle if you're not worth his claws. Imagine getting ghosted by a lion because you're not challenging enough. His defining clash? Taking on Thrag, the Viltrumite boss, in a brawl that hops planets and leaves blood trails in orbit. Even with his guts hanging out, he keeps swinging, only dying because Thrag's a notch crazier. He's faster than most Viltrumites, tough enough to eat punches that'd crack moons, and has centuries of scars from battles he probably started for fun. He's taken on Viltrumite hit squads solo, leaving bodies in his wake, and once shrugged off Mark and Alan double-teaming him like it was a warm-up. So why not hire? He's a brawn over brains guy, no plans, just chaos. Against sharper foes like Thrag or Mark's later smarts, that smash-everything approach gets him outdone. Still, Battle Beast is a legend. He's roamed for ages seeking the ultimate showdown, and when he finally falls, it's in a blaze of gore and glory. He's the guy you'd call to wreck a city or spice up a dull party. Just don't expect him to stick around if the punches don't sting. Conquest. Conquest storms in as the Viltrumite thug who makes bad day an understatement. This scarred, grizzled psycho's a walking war zone, sent to Earth to clean up Omni-Man's mess after he goes soft. He's got the Viltrumite classics: strength to pulverize mountains, speed to outpace a missile, durability to scoff at explosions, but he's seasoned it with centuries of bloodshed. In the comics, he's a terror. He slams into Earth like a meteor, beats Mark senseless in round 1, snapping bones like twigs, and shrugs off Adam Eve's atomic blasts like they're a light breeze. Round 2? He impales Eve, nearly kills Mark again, and takes a whole crew, Mark, Eve, and backup, to finally drop. His style's savage. He rips enemies apart with glee, snaps spines like he's cracking knuckles, and once trashed a city just to flex his dominance. He's fought in wars that turned planets to ash, survived wounds that'd kill lesser Viltrumites, like a missing arm or a crushed ribcage, and kept coming with a grin that says, "This is my happy place." His experience edges out younger Viltrumites. He's a vet who's seen it all and broken it all. So why not hire? He's a brute without Thrag's cunning or Mark's growth. Mark snaps his neck after a slugfest that leaves craters, proving grit beats savagery. Conquest is the Viltrumite you'd unleash to crush a rebellion or scare a solar system straight. He's chaos with a pulse, laughing, while he turns your world to rubble. Omni-Man, aka Nolan Grayson, flies in as the Viltrumite dad who'd ground you with a fist through the wall. Sent to Earth to prep it for conquest, he's got the full Viltrumite arsenal: strength to flatten cities, flight that'd outrun a rocket, and toughness that treats nukes like a hot shower. He's honed it over millennia, conquering worlds like it's a 9-to-5 gig. Early comics? He's a one-man slaughterhouse. He wipes out the Guardians of the Globe in seconds, turning their base into a horror movie set, and obliterates the Flaxen Dimension solo, leaving their time-warping army a smoking footnote. He schools Mark in their first fight. Think tough love with a side of shattered ribs, showing off moves from centuries of war. Later, he switches teams, ditching Viltrum for Earth after falling for Debbie and Mark, and takes on his own kind with gusto. He's tanked planet-busting battles, punched through starships like they're cardboard, and survived Viltrumite civil wars that'd make Armageddon look tame. His clash with Thrag is brutal. He holds his own, trading blows that shake the sky until Thrag proves too much. So why not hire? Thrag's raw power and Mark's long-term growth top him, and his family man arc softens his killer edge. He's not the heartless warlord he once was. Still, Omni-Man's a titan. He's crushed Viltrumite fleets, saved Earth from doomsday threats, and rocked a mustache that's basically a badge of badassery. He's the guy you'd call to topple a tyrant or humble a planet. Just don't ask him to read you a bedtime story unless it's about galactic domination. Invincible. Invincible, aka Mark Grayson, swoops in as the half-Viltrumite kid who goes from punching bag to cosmic kingpin. Early on, he's a rookie. Omni-Man, Battle Beast, and random goons treat him like a stress ball, leaving him bruised and whining about homework. But give him time, and those Viltrumite genes kick into overdrive, strength to crack continents, speed to blitz through space, and healing that shrugs off death like a bad cold. His journey's epic. He takes down Conquest after a fight that'd make a horror movie blush, snapping the Psycho's neck in a bloody finale. He survived Thrag's wrath, dragging the Viltrumite boss into the sun to roast him alive, and outlasted wars that turned planets to gravel. By the comic's end, he's Emperor of the Viltrumites, turning them from tyrants to guardians over 500 years. He's not just muscle, he's got grit, pushing through beatings that'd break anyone else, and a heart that keeps him fighting for good. His feats stack up. He's punched through Viltrumite ships, rebuilt Earth alongside Eve, and raised a daughter, Terra, who's nearly as tough as him. So why not first? Thrag's peak power in the moment outshines him. Mark needs centuries to hit his stride, growing stronger with every scar. Still, he's the marathon champ. He's faced down Alan at his beefiest, outsmarted Viltrumite generals, and turned the galaxy's worst bullies into allies. From a teen tripping over his cape to a ruler reshaping the stars, Mark's the guy who earns invincible the hard way. Bloody, battered, and always back for more. Thrag. Thrag reigns supreme as the Viltrumite god who'd make titans tremble. Grand Regent of the Viltrum Empire, he's the ultimate survivor of a civil war that culled the weak, leaving this scarred, muscle-bound juggernaut on top. He's got strength to split planets, speed to cross galaxies in a blink, and durability that treats solar flares like a tanning session. His rap sheet's insane. He tears Viltrumites apart like they're wet napkins, shrugs off hits that'd vaporize moons, and flies through space like it's a Sunday drive. His standout fights? He beats Omni-Man and Mark in a 2-on-1, leaving them bloody and humbled, and takes on Battle Beast in a planet-hopping slugfest, ending with Beast dead and Thrag barely winded. He survived losing an arm, getting his chest caved in, and kept swinging with a smirk. Pain's just a high five to this guy. He's a strategist too, rebuilding the Viltrumite race from ashes, siring dozens of hybrid kids to swell their ranks, and outfoxing the coalition of planets like a chess grandmaster. His last stand? Facing Mark and crew on the sun's surface, getting charred to a crisp but fighting so long you'd think he's fireproof. He's number one because in his prime he's untouchable, stronger, tougher, and sharper than anyone until Mark outgrows him centuries later. His only slip? Arrogance, thinking no one could dethrone him. But it takes a son and a team to finally fry him. Thrag's a living cataclysm. He's led wars that erased star systems, stared down every foe, and ruled with a fist that had crushed diamonds. If Viltrumites have a king, it's Thrag, and he'd probably punch the universe just to remind it who's boss.